Welcome back to A Minute with Chelsea. We are visiting Budakirkja. That means Black Church of Budir, which is the place we're at. Kirkja means church. I'm doing my best. I'm from Arkansas. After we looked around the church, our guide Arnie was like, hey, do you guys want to walk over to that beach and put your feet in the ocean? And I was like, Arnie, it's freezing outside. The water is going to freeze our toes off. And he was like, yeah, let's do it anyway. And I was like, you can do it. I will walk down there because that sounds really cool. It wasn't a very far walk. We just walked down the road and then down a little hill, and the beach was amazing. This was one of my favorite moments, but mostly because I'm a little animal nerd, and I don't think these starfish are alive, so don't get your hopes up because they have been washed up and they are dead, I'm pretty sure. But just in case they weren't dead, we did pick them up and put them back in the water very gently, and if they are dead, then oh well, and if they weren't, then good, then we helped them. A couple of people walked out into the ocean and got their feet wet. I hate to say that I wasn't one of them, but I just couldn't handle it. I couldn't do it. It was too cold and wet. And I was like, how do you get your shoes back on, Arnie? And he was like, what do you mean? And I was like, if your feet are wet and sandy, then what? And he was like, you just do it. And I was like, that's not for me. Well, look at this one. It's so perfect. And here is video evidence of us returning them to the water. Arnie also said if we went out into the sea, he would give all of us shots of Brennivin. But I did not want to go into the sea. I wanted to pick up starfish and look for seashells and look for sea glass. But while I was doing that, Arnie walked up to me and just said, open your mouth. And then he poured a shot down my throat. And I said, and I have a starfish. And he said, okay. He literally says, okay. I think Arnie, our guide, is definitely on our vibe. And Shelby, who does not drink alcohol, decided to go ahead and take the shot anyway. And then she did it like a pro. And then, of course, Becky took one because Becky and I are on the same level with shots. Arnie's such a little rat. Look at him. He's so pleased. This is my favorite thing. Just beachcombing, I guess is the word. But, it's so cold outside. And so I'm in a sweater and a little hat and a coat. But, I'm just poking and prodding and looking at things that have washed up during the tide because it's now low tide. If I lived by a beach, I would never go inside. I would do this all day long. I would dig in the sand and look for little creatures and watch the waves roll in, and I could live right here on this beach if it wasn't so fucking cold. I turned around and there's Shelby way up on the mountain. By the way, I just launched my 2026 trip plans, so if you're excited about that, you should go join the Hobbithikers Bestie group. It's pinned at the top. I have everything listed for all of next year. Right now, the trips that are live that you are able to buy tickets for are just for 2025. I have spots open for Morocco, spots open for Croatia, and spots open for the Germany and Prague European Christmas markets. I hate that I'm telling you all of this while you're looking at a really disgusting sea cucumber on my screen. If you want to join any of the 2025 trips, all of those are linked in my bio. And next Friday, which is my birthday, because I'm an Aries, that's whenever Switzerland goes live to the public, and that will be announced first in the Hobbit Hikers Facebook group. But if you want to receive an email whenever Switzerland is public for tickets on sale, you just sign up for the Switzerland trip in my bio. It just says get notified, and you click that button. I'm also launching a trip to Japan for May of next year, and if you're interested in that, go get notified for that too. Shelby filmed herself walking all the way across the beach holding this nasty little ween, and this is my true reaction. I said, ew, what the fuck is that? Is that a dick? This is one of my favorite clips. I don't know if you watched it, rewind it. Shelby was holding out that little sea cucumber to tap my little piece of sea glass that I found, and I pulled it back like, no, don't. We also found a sea urchin, but it was dead because it didn't have any spines left on it, little spiky things. Look at all the sea glass I found. Shelby found one of them for me because I was like, I want green. But anyway, we got back to the hotel, which is our first night here. This is probably my favorite hotel that we stayed in. I just love this hotel. It has such a nice bathroom, such a nice bed, everything about it. The view is absolutely magnificent, and it's in the middle of nowhere on the southern coast, the southern peninsula of Iceland. And it's a horse farm, but it's just so nice. They have fresh milk and fresh butter and fresh cream, and everything is just nice. Plus, they have bottles of Coke Zero, and it was so yummy. Tonight, we have a different chef. If you remember the last trip, we had an Italian chef who was from Italy with the strongest Italian accent I've ever heard. He made us a bunch of pasta. Well, tonight we're having a completely different meal because we have a completely different chef. And these right here, these cheesy potatoes, I would push a baby over a cliff to eat that right now. It was the best cheesy potatoes of my life. In fact, we cleaned that out. We ate all of it. We ate so much of it, I took whatever was left home, and by home I mean to my hotel room in a little bowl, and I took it with me and I ate it all night, and it was so good. I ate it in bed. This was a meat soup and an asparagus soup, and that's all I know about it. Everything else was just kind of like a buffet smorgasbord, eat what you want. Mostly I ate cheesy potatoes and chicken strips because you don't realize how much you miss chicken nuggets and french fries and, potatoes until you're not in Arkansas anymore. Sorry, I feel like I almost choked on my tongue for no reason. Maybe because I'm looking at this food and it looks so goddamn good, I want to eat it, and I feel like I'm just drooling everywhere. We had homemade waffles with homemade whipped cream with chocolate sauce and powdered sugar, and that shit was so good. In fact, we ate so much of it, I watched him go back into the back and make more whipped cream in the KitchenAid. Also, look at this puppy. He's playing with his stick and having a great time. After dinner, we sat and hung out in this little lobby because we thought we were the only people here, but we weren't. There was apparently a bunch of Parisians here, some French dudes, and we didn't know and accidentally drank one of their beers, and they walked in and they were like, was that our beer? And I was like, I mean, I didn't do it, but someone else in my group did. And she was like, I thought we were the only ones here. I thought this was left over from some other trip. And he was like, no, it's fine though. Anyway, the Northern Lights showed the fuck up and showed the fuck out, and we were screaming and jumping and laughing and crying. And I'm just so happy we got to witness this. And this wasn't even the best one. A better one's still coming, but this one was pretty goddamn good. And it was just amazing.